From Tobacco Republic in Loomis, California, the Loomis Cigar Cartel presents Beyond the Humidor, a cigar podcast for the rest of us. Well, all right. We've got a nice little surprise this week. Scott Robinson with you on Beyond the Humidor, and we have graduated to video.
Yay!
Now you can all see what we look like. So when you check out the podcast tomorrow, we plan to have this video on YouTube under Loomis Cigar Cartel on the 10th. So be sure to check that out if you like, if you want to see what we look like, if we've got a face for radio, or if you want to look at my beautiful chocolate self, you can do that too. Greg, how you doing?
I think I threw up my mouth a little bit. You know, it's good. I'm glad we're here. I want to thank, before we get started, Tommy the Chainsaw Elledge. He's the one that helped get video to progress here. That cable that allows the camera to pick up the audio off the road, it really, really works out. But it's a good day. I'm excited for the new video, and, you know, we'll see what happens. Forgive me while I light my cigar here.
Well, while you're doing that, Larry, how you doing there?
I'm hanging in there, man. We've reached the milestone of, putting our faces out there. Sorry.
God help the world.
If this doesn't scare you back to radio, nothing will. But, yeah, just screaming right along.
Oh, yeah.
Going to be a good show.
Oh, yeah, it's already been a good day for me. Hey, yesterday was a good day for me.
Oh, here it comes.
No. Well, you guys already know, I got a brand new shiny grill. Okay.
Yeah, why don't you tell that story, man?
Let me explain. I was in Costco minding my own business with Tiny Wife, walking down the aisle, and I hear, psst, psst, hey kid, psst, hey kid, hey, you got a Traeger? Now, most of you know I barbecue, and of course I've got a Traeger. It's about 8 or 9 years old, but I'm happy with it. So I'm like, yeah, I have a Traeger. And he said, but do you have this Traeger? I heard angelic music and tears came out of my eyes. It's like thicker steel. It's got like Wi-Fi and you can download recipes into it and all of this. Now, after the angelic music stopped, the adult came back and said, I have a grill already. I can't justify this purchase. My Tiny Wife looks and says, you've talked about this, and I got my pots and pans and my new couch, so how about you get this grill? And I'm sitting here trying to be the adult. The salesman stepping back like, well, hell, I'll let her sell the grill. She's like, look, well, it's a good deal. She started using what I call Tiny Wife math, where it's kind of like, well, it's this much, but we're saving this much money because we got our rebate and we got this and that. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, as I'm trying to hide the smile on my face as they load the grill up. So I'm going to be putting together a grill tomorrow.
You expect us to believe that line of horse crap you just spewed out?
Even
though
it's
I know
true.
It's true because I heard Tiny Wife in the background when we were talking.
Yep.
And here's the thing, folks. What we should have done is taken this camera out and shot the picture of the grill in the back of his car. My first apartment wasn't this big.
It's so pretty. I cannot wait to get it out of the box.
I'm thinking we're barbecuing at Scott's next weekend.
I'm thinking that's a good idea.
Yeah, that works for me. I've got that brisket problem.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah, see, I've got like really weird problems. Like, my Tiny Wife is buying me a grill, or you've got this giant brisket. You need to have a barbecue. I've got this giant brisket in the fridge. So she's like, there's not enough room. I've heard that like about 4 or 5 times this week. You need to get rid of this brisket. So I come in here, it's like, hey guys, you want to do me a favor? And of course, when you tell a bunch of guys that, they're like, oh man, you want me to help you
we figured
move?
we were moving the grill.
It's like, no, you guys are going to come over and help me eat brisket. I didn't get a lot of objection.
We're there.
Well, anyway, it's the start of the month, and I think it's about that time to talk about our cigar of the month. Greg, talk to me.
So this week, or this month, I should say, much to other parties' chagrin, we're with a box press again. Sorry, folks, we can't get off these box presses for some reason. But we're smoking the Avo Ritmo, at least is how I'm thinking it's pronounced.
That's it.
Forgive me while I go to a few details here on my phone, so forgive me if I'm not looking at you. It is obviously manufactured by the Davidoff Group. They acquired Avo a few years ago. It's a Dominican cigar. What is unique about this one is what sold me on Tobacco Republic, selling me this cigar, was what it comes with. Its filler is quite unique. You know, most cigars have 1, maybe 2 fillers in it. This one's got 5. Brazilian, Dominican Republic, Honduran, Nicaraguan, and Peruvian, which gives you that funny note that you're trying to identify. The notes that you guys were trying to identify earlier, that's probably that Peruvian, and I don't know what it is either. I can't figure it out, but it's a great cigar. Comes in a Robusto or a Toro. These two are smoking the Robusto. I've got the Toro, so it's just a great stick. And, you know, it's one, frankly, that I never would have tried if it wasn't suggested to me, and I'm glad they did.
Well, one of the crazy things about this cigar is that the filler comes from 5 countries. It's like Nicaraguan, Dominican, I can't think of the other ones, but
Dominican, Peruvian, Brazil.
Yes. And it's unique. When I first lit it, you know, I got this taste that slapped me in the face. Not something I normally go for. And I was looking at some reviews online, and some people described it as cinnamon toast crunch, or I would call for a more mature, better word, it's a spice. I would say, I wouldn't say cinnamon. I can't place the spice, though. But it was one of those where it's like, I don't know if this is going to be in my wheelhouse. But after, and I hate using the term powering through because that means you're kind of tolerating and not enjoying the cigar. I would take that opportunity just to appreciate the taste, because after a few puffs, that disappears and you get a nice, smooth flavor out of it. Now, they call this Maduro. I laugh. It's not, I don't think it's Maduro. It doesn't have the power of Maduro, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, in all fairness, in for most of us, where we get our information from, if you know, we're not Googling it or we need something right away, we use an app called Cigar Scanner, and it tends to say it is a Maduro because it's a Maduroed leaf. What I don't agree with is they put this as a full-powered cigar. So I don't know what the rest of you guys think. You two smoke more Maduros than I do.
That's absolutely not the case.
Right.
Definitely has, you know, the Maduro flavoring, but absolutely not a full-power Maduro. What this would be good for is if you're looking to step up into some Maduro cigars, this would be a pretty good starting point. You could get some of that Maduro flavor, but without getting just hammered with a real heavy Maduro if you're not used to that yet. It's funny, Scott, you said something about that initial light. This is my second one. I smoked the first one yesterday, and both times when I lit these cigars up, I was like, whew, man, that is rough starting out.
Yeah.
So I got online to just look and see, because I couldn't place it either, and I didn't catch that Peruvian filler in there. I didn't see that, but that makes sense. But I got online to see, you know, if I could get maybe somebody's take on how this cigar started out. And the best thing I found, and I had to write it down, it says, opens with a muted earthiness. I don't know what the hell that means, but it tastes like dirt when you start out.
That's about the equivalent of someone calling it raccoon fur or whatnot.
Yeah. Lamb, banana, and raccoon.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, the raccoon's a little harsh on the front end. I'm going to be honest with you.
Right.
But like Scott said, once you get into the stick a little bit, and I don't know, again, if this is the Peruvian, I can't ever remember smoking anything else that had a Peruvian filler in it.
That I can recall, no, not off the top of my head.
But it levels out once you get it going. It's got a little bit of a pepper, I think, you know, taste when you're drawn in on it. And the smell, as you exhale, you almost get a citrus to the smell. Did you guys notice that? It's a different.
Yeah, I didn't peg that.
But it's almost, there's a different kind of, I don't even know how to explain it. When you exhale, you're getting a different, just a different sense with this. And I don't know if it's something I would go to a ton, you know, in my wheelhouse, but it's definitely a good cigar. It's a well-constructed box press cigar and draws pretty well. The burn's a little funny. Both of these have canoed on me a little bit starting out, and this one's starting to here right now. But
No, I'm in the same boat, Larry. I've got a little bit of a canoe going that I keep having to touch up.
You know what's funny? I've had that problem on a couple of these, but this one has been burning pretty nice. But I've been at it, I think you guys kind of backed up off of it. And
I waited till we started the show.
Yeah.
yeah, I lit this this morning when I was leaving the house. So yeah, I like it. It's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see do a little bit of research on the Avo line and see if there's something else that they have, or somebody else even has that has some Peruvian filler. I'd like to try something else with the Peruvian and see if we're picking up kind of some of the same things as we are off of this one.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. We'll have to see about that one.
No doubt. How's that going with you guys' coffee?
I like it with a coffee. It's good.
Now, I have a question. What's actually in that thermos? I know the answer, folks, but
Yeah, you're the one who made it. Hazelnut coffee.
it's actually Kona
Oh, no.
with hazelnut creamer.
Gotcha.
because I can't drink coffee black.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hey, 1 episode chip. I'm trying to beat my 2 episode chip.
Damn it.
Knew you forgot something, huh?
I had it out. I have a 2 episode chip for you, brother. I didn't bring it. I will. If we go where you double up and you go 2 times 2 episodes, then this is gonna be spectacular.
Okay.
It'll be spectacular.
I think you need to explain this to our functioning guests.
Our now visible guests. Typically, Scott doesn't do coffee in the morning. He's more of a scotch or Ripple, bourbon.
I have never had Ripple.
Hater.
Who am I, Red Fox?
I can see it.
He doesn't have the gravelly voice, though.
No, I do not.
I'd give him a couple more years.
Yeah, I was going to say about 10 years,
Yeah, Red only had about 100 years on him. Scott's got a little ways to go.
But I think what some of the listeners don't know is, as Larry said, we record this show at 7 o'clock in the morning because we're actually recording in a cigar lounge, and we have to do it before or after hours. So, yeah, typically these recordings, whether it's the podcast or now the video, are made bright and early. What a day to start your way with a drink.
So now that you're seeing us live, if we're drinking, it's a morning drink, folks. Welcome aboard.
don't judge me.
That's what we
You
do.
have the judgmental Christmas bear for that.
The Judgmental Christmas Bear soap dispenser.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the next episode that dispenser will be making an appearance.
No. Let him come out on his usual time.
November.
Christmas.
Yeah, around November he shows up.
Yep, we're going to bring in Mr. Potato Head and a bunch of
Dr. Seuss
Seuss books for the next live. Because if we're going to offend some people, we're going to do it in a big way, folks.
Why not?
Oh, yeah, get the little, tape a cigar to Mr. Potato Head's hands. I like it. Okay, I just want to put some clarity out there. Okay, when we say I drink on the podcast, I have about this much drink, and it's not an everyday thing. I'm not like at work with my morning cigar. It's usually cigar and coffee. It's not like, cigar and scotch, unless it's a particularly really, really shitty day, then yeah. But, I don't have that many of those. Don't look at me like that.
You feel better now?
Yeah. You feel better now that you've justified yourself?
Yes, I do.
We don't judge you. They might.
Yeah,
We don't.
yeah. We gave up on that a long time ago, man.
Well, what are you going to do? But, like I say, in the mornings, I like a strong cigar in the morning with some coffee while I'm working. And then I have the TV going on. And it's funny, I've gotten on this kick where one of the channels shows about 3 or 4 episodes of the old Twilight Zone with Rod Sterling. And, I really appreciate that program. And I was thinking about it this week. It was like, you know what? It's, everybody knows the song and the voice of Sterling, but the stories were just so incredible. And they were able to tell the story within 30 minutes in most cases, and talked about everything from ethics to race, the future. It's a lot of sci-fi, but a lot of moral dilemmas too. And that's the one thing I liked about it. There's a couple of my favorite episodes, and I don't know, Greg, I know you probably haven't because you're too young.
No, that was a little bit before my time. For me, the Twilight Zone is actually just a funny reference on a show that Scott and I both like. I don't know if Larry watches it or not, but Futurama, they do the several puns throughout the seasons of The Scary Door, which is a parody of the Twilight Zone. That's really my only exposure to it.
Huh. I didn't realize Twilight Zone was actually black and white until I was older. I thought it was just because we was poor.
Hey, you and I were in the same boat. We got our first color TV, and it was like, holy crap. Well, I guess it is black and white.
Yeah, Pops was like, hey, we got a color TV. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, it was black plastic. I couldn't understand what he was talking about. Same color as the old TV. I'm just saying, And for him to spend money on something like that, it's like, whew, man, that must have fell off a truck or something. But
I have no comment.
I don't know. New grill.
Yeah, man. Hey, should we go out and see if that box is damaged?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Well, the bottom is slightly, but that's them getting it off of a top of another box and putting it onto the dolly. That has nothing to do with it falling off a truck.
Yeah, but you realize you and me getting it out of the back of your car tomorrow, oof.
Yeah, see, okay. That's why we need to take this video on the road for stuff like this.
Well, it's better than my little 5'2" wife trying.
True.
Yeah, because she's like, oh, no, I can help you get the grill out of the car. No, you can't.
Do you have a hand truck at your house, or should I bring mine?
You're a GD genius. I was just talking about that yesterday. Yes, please bring a hand truck.
Okay.
That's wonderful. That would make our lives so much easier.
Yeah.
Or we could just assemble the damn thing in front of my garage.
I'd really rather not. Yeah, I'd rather do it in the back in the shade. I'm a bald man. I burn easily.
It ain't going to be that hot tomorrow, you sissy.
Sunburn, jackass.
Well, yeah, there's that.
That's a shame, Casper.
Mm-hmm.
Good grief.
But anyway, as we digress, don't want to go too far off the rails, but cigar habits, as we're talking about what we do in the morning. Me, it's sit with my laptop, have a nice cigar with some coffee in most cases.
And this was an interesting conversation that you and I had the other day, and unfortunately Larry wasn't here, but
gainfully employed.
So am I, but I work at, oh my God, hours in the morning, and Scott, works in his pajamas.
I don't work in my pajamas. I put real clothes on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mindset.
So we were talking about this, and there's a theory going around, and because of my smoking habits and my particular cigar purveyances of what I like, I tend to agree with this particular cigar idiom, and that is smoke light in the morning and then progressively get heavier as you go throughout the day. And I know for the two of you, that's probably a little bit different because you guys are more Maduro smokers than I am. I'm more, medium, and you guys are more full-bodied. Even though I'm a fat man.
It's whatever I want to smoke. It's not. It doesn't come down to a system, if you will. It's just basically open up the humidor, grab something. It depends on how much time I've got. If I've got a morning meeting, it's going to be a lunch break. If I've got like some free time where I can sit in front of my computer and smoke, undisturbed, then I'll pull out something like a Lancero or a Churchill or a Robusto. But there's no hard and fast rule.
Not for you. And in terms of strength, does that also apply too?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's whatever I feel like. I mean, there's some days I come in here and, a nice light Connecticut because I don't want anything heavy.
Yeah, it breaks down strictly to how much time I'm going to have in the morning.
Right.
Because I open up the humidor and I'm like a fat kid at a candy store. I'm like, that's the one for today.
There you go.
And it could be a triple Maduro. It could be a Connecticut. Don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be an all day process, anyway. So what the hell?
Yeah, well, it is for me too. On my off days, I got a cigar lit most of the time of the day.
How many days a week you guys smoke?
Every day.
Yeah. Scott, every day?
Yeah, pretty much 6 or 7. There are times when I don't have an opportunity to smoke and I'm going through withdrawals.
It's like, come on, man, come on, just give me one. No, and that's funny because I brought that up because somebody asked me, who is a cigar smoker? You know, well, how often do you smoke? I'm like, well, I smoked one an hour ago. I didn't get the reference at first what he was talking about. He goes, well, you smoke every day? I'm like, well, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I put on pants every day, same thing, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
Well,
but seriously, you know, it was weird to me. I'm like, it took me aback for a minute. I'm like, okay, I guess there's people that don't. All right.
Well, you know, and we interviewed a fellow a few shows back, my good buddy and coworker Paul, and you know, since that show, he and I have started one of the 10-minute breaks we get a day. We take together. We go out to the car and we smoke a little cigarillo and just relax for 10 minutes. So yeah, literally for me, it's every day. I mean, it doesn't help the fact that I come down to Tobacco Republic most days of the week. So
You're welcome, Ron, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So let's get into this discussion about, as I'm smoking this down and I removed part of my cigar band and I'm about to remove this portion so I'm not inadvertently smoking paper.
I've done that, by the way.
Oh, I've done
not
that more than
pleasant.
once.
You know, cigar bands are a unique thing for each manufacturer. They have a particular look or style that they want and information they want to convey. And the Anglophile jokes aside, do you two know where the cigar band actually comes from? Why it became relevant?
Ooh,
Yeah.
let me guess. Ooh, this is okay. This is a stretch. I'm going to try to guess where it came from. England.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Actually, it kind of did.
Yeah, but it was a Dutch-born German trying to keep the pesky Germans from ripping off the Cubans.
Really?
Yeah, I did a little research on this, which is not normal for me.
I didn't know you knew how to operate a computer.
Well, it's two fingers hunt and peck, but also, you know, my limited, you know, vocabulary, education, and social awareness. But 1830s, a guy named Gustav Bach ordered paper rings to put on all of his cigars with his signature to distinguish those cigars from other things in the marketplace. And at the time, the two major manufacturers for cigars in the world were the Cubans and the Germans.
I did not know the
Did
Germans.
not know that.
Why didn't Roger tell us this?
Well, I'm sure he
Roger
will
failed.
now. Yeah, they're nothing like sticking another feather in Roger's cap. But in the early 1800s, average price for a German cigar, 1 penny. Average price for a Cuban cigar, 15 cents.
Okay.
So
Much like today.
yeah, so there was
Of course.
there was a huge problem with counterfeiting cigars. So Bach, I think is how it's pronounced, B-O-C-K. He wanted to distinguish his particular lines of cigars, so that was what they credit some of the first cigar bands to, is just a paper ring with his signature on it. Now, going back even farther than that, apparently, rumor has it that Catherine the Great, who smoked cigars, would not smoke something that wasn't wrapped or banded on the end because she didn't want the tobacco stain on her fingers.
Now, I did see something about
that's
that.
That's the one that I found was not that exact one. That's different, but that was one of the things that what I found out was where I got the English reference is that bands were put on cigars, so when the English gentlemen were smoking, they would not get a tobacco stain on the inside of their white gloves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was, and that carries over into the early 1900s for that type of, and back then, in that original stuff, it was just a plain paper. And then, you know, you looked at the marketing advertising aspect of that, and that's when the bands started, everybody started putting bands on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you started seeing the artistry and some of the, you know, just the unique advertising. Even as the bands started to get more ornate and more popular, more colorful, the boxes were still plain.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hey, the train's coming by.
Woo!
Tommy, I told you this on one of these other episodes. Call your compatriots, tell them they're interrupting our broadcast.
Yeah, because we got that much clout, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
But, you know, it's funny because if you think about it, bands have really become a signature of cigars. In fact, the manufacturer, in some cases, I know like Cohiba and several others, they do business with one particular manufacturer, and it's in a tight-lipped, almost, you know, legal secrecy so that their designs don't leak out until they're ready to be displayed.
Well, and that makes sense because it's, you know, it's as much marketing and advertising as any other product.
But also with Cohiba, it's a matter of authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like if you count the number of squares and the hologram, of course, in an attempt to differentiate an original Cohiba from a counterfeit. And that's one of the ways you can tell.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I don't know about the two of you, but depending on the cigar and the band, if it's really neat looking, the Rosalila from Oscar comes to mind. I tend to keep one of each of the different lines that I smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some people do that as, you know, they'll put it in their cigar diary, if you will. I mean, we're in the 21st century. You can pretty much just take, you can pretty much take a picture of it. Or I've seen people use it as a method of art. Like they'll take a table, a box, and they'll just glue bands all over it.
And
Like
then-
they used to do in, you know, the days when you'd slap like one of those stickers on your luggage to say where you've been.
Yeah, and I know that my brother did that. He got a whole bunch of bands, like bags and bags and bags of them. That's what he wants to do, is do a tabletop mosaic with bands.
I remember he was collecting them at one time. Is he still doing that, or
No.
he's got plenty?
No, the bag got left out in the rain.
Oh, wow.
May or may not have been intentional.
That's just sad.
They don't work and play well with others. No, it's, you know, the advertising part of that took off in the early 1900s. By 1920, the cigar industry, according to Holt's Clubhouse, which is a pretty good online resource, by the way, estimated that 80% of U.S. men by 1900 had smoked a cigar. 80%.
Wow.
Wow, what happened to nowadays where the cigar smoking population in the United States is 1%?
Well, you
Is
know,
it?
It is.
Wow. That's just sad.
the growing of tobacco in the U.S. made the cigarette market jump because they started growing all this, and then they're like, what are we going to do with it?
Mhm.
They produced actually too much tobacco for cigars, so they had to come up with another product that they could use tobacco in. And that's why you saw such a huge rise in cigarettes, because it was cheaper to make. They could make it faster,
Yeah.
and they could sell it cheaper. So, you know, if you couldn't afford a cigar, you went with a cigarette, and it just took off.
Yeah, it's kind of funny now that cigarettes, you slap taxes on it and it's just as bad as cigars at one point.
Oh yeah,
Oh, certainly,
No,
and
yeah,
it is
crazy.
here.
But yeah, from the advertising standpoint, I mean, look at the marketing and advertising now that goes into, you know, we're sitting right here in front of Davidoff sign, which, you know, that is a uniquely recognizable brand. But think of some of the other ones that are doing crazy ornate labels, boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Romeo and Julieta,
Drew Estate.
Yep. Macanudo. I mean,
Yeah.
Macanudo has some great artwork, and they've diversified where they're marketing their artwork as much as they're marketing their cigars.
Absolutely. Another brand comes to mind. Island Jim
Oh yeah.
has a beautiful,
Caricature.
yes.
Yep. And is also doing, swag and other materials, cigar related stuff.
Right.
But marketing that. Ashton is another one.
Yeah.
Ashton has always had a really nice label, really nice packaging. San Cristobal, they've done, that kind of tropical theme with their labeling and their boxes. And it's just, if you walk in someplace, especially if you're going into a humidor, a cigar lounge that you're not familiar, you can pick out some of these manufacturers quick, just because of their labeling, their boxes, their marketing. And so it's as important in that industry as it is in anything else.
Well, yeah, one of the most recognizable ones is Rocky Patel, and his band is very recognizable from the RP. It gives you some familiarity.
Well, and Gurkha, with the gold leaf stuff
Yes.
that they did for forever, So yeah, it's.
And when you think about ornate, aside from Jonathan Drew, Gurkha's the next one that comes to mind because of their boxes are so unique and so ornate, and then their labels follow right along with suit. The Gurkha Ghost, the Status, the Dragon Fury, those bands were completely ornate.
Well, you just got into boxes, and let's talk about the evolution of the cigar box, because that was not a normal thing at the very beginning.
No, they came in wheels, which a wheel is 50 cigars bundled tied together with a ribbon, and much like when they first started out, no box, no labels, no boxes either. And it's funny. So in the article that I sent you guys that I found last night in researching the show, a quite famous cigar brand that we all know is credited, or is presumably credited, with starting with the first boxes. And believe it or not, it's H. Upmann. Before they were a cigar brand, they were a bank. And one of the branches was moved. Two brothers started a branch in Cuba itself. And the bank was H. Upmann Bank, and they were doing business with various people in Cuba. And his goal was to take those Cuban cigars as a cigar aficionado, and he would box them with the bank's logo, and he would send them overseas back to Europe and give them as gifts to his high clients. That then became a standard. Everyone started to shift into box manufacturing and making their own boxes. So, if the article, which came from Famous, I believe, was, or Cigar Advisor.
Yeah.
Too many things I looked at. But the bank, the H. Upmann Bank, when the bank failed around 1920, they went into their own cigar manufacturing business, and thus created, not only did they create the box, they created the H. Upmann line of cigars. Their most famous is the Banker, for good reason.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Nice. And what Cuba did was, with their boxes, there's a code on the boxes to give you an idea where the cigar was made, when it was made, and to, of course, check authenticity, which was really interesting.
Yeah, and it's such a unique thing, because as we've been discussing with bands, you look at some of the boxes. The first box I can remember that really caught my eye, and this wasn't even cigars. It wasn't even being sold. Was the Gurkha treasure chest that they had here in Tobacco Republic, and I'm looking at this going, this is beautiful.
Yeah, display box, and absolutely the centerpiece for years in this humidor here at Tobacco Republic.
And just the uses of used cigar boxes. Like, I've got a pile of them on my humidor now. I've got to bring in here. And what usually happens is here at Tobacco Republic, they'll take boxes and put them outside, and they're gone within a day or two.
Easily.
People have used them for many things. They make great guitars, apparently, because there's a cat out here who repurposes the boxes and turns them into guitars. Humidors. Just temporary humidors, I'd say, except for the one, and I harp on this, and I think I've said this on previous episodes, that the Cohiba box for the Sublime is actually a humidor. It has a hydrometer in it. You can put cigars in it. It's got a little spot for the humidifier, and it's a lacquer, shiny, beautiful Cohiba box.
Now,
Very unique.
There's a couple other lines that had that too. God, I can't think of.
I remember one of the cigars. I don't remember the manufacturer, but one of the cigars was the 19th hole.
Yeah.
And those boxes too were lacquered, beautiful, shiny, absolutely fantastic, and made great humidors.
Yeah, the Prohibition box comes to mind.
The Prohibition box is fantastic. Larry and I both have a couple of them. I have one. Larry's got a couple of them, and it looks like an old whiskey crate.
Yeah.
And the six jars of cigars sit in it, and it's fantastic.
Somebody years ago, 10, 12 years ago, had a glass jar presentation. I think you got 15 or 16 cigars in that, and the screw-on cap had the hydrometer in a little place for and just anything unique like that is just cool, you know.
And you remember, I think it's been about 8-9 years when LFD released, they weren't humidified, mind you, but they released the 20 count 1994 special editions in the big beer stein.
I got one.
Me too.
I don't.
Oh,
I know,
I'll
right?
sell you one.
Gee, thanks.
It's not going to be cheap.
Yeah, no kidding.
You might have to fight Craig for it, but that's an easy victory.
Yeah, is he even up yet?
No, he won't get up until about 10, 11 o'clock.
There we go. But yeah, the packaging of some of this stuff is just super unique, and you don't take much time to think about it. Really, is how much time, effort, and money that some of these manufacturers put into creating a unique look that you're going to remember.
Well, have you guys seen the cigar tube that actually has humidification in it?
Byron and Atabe.
Byron.
There you go.
Yep. Byron is who I was thinking about. Byron had and I have one at the shop, a little, I think it was a 10 count box that has the hydrometer and humidified. And that's a black lacquer box too. That is just a neat presentation.
Yeah, and I have a Byron jar that looks like a vase.
It's a ceramic, and I think you do too, Larry.
I don't have
Byrons?
I don't have the Byron vase. I balked on spending that much money, and I was like, and then when they were gone, I was pissed.
Yeah, I went halves with somebody on that because I was at the same point. It's like I just can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, I wasn't going to buy the beer stein either, and Ron kind of guilted me into it. I'm like, okay.
He does that.
Did he do the psst, hey kid? Psst,
Yeah, damn
hey,
near. Damn near. And so
You are cool, right?
yeah.
I told him you were cool. You are cool, right?
But then again, it's Ron, man. I mean, if he told me that it was cool to be smoking a White Owl, I'd probably be smoking a White Owl,
Oh,
Wow. That's bad.
that's painful right there.
Hey, the man has a lot of pull. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a Swisher grape joke.
Well, you did wear a purple and black shirt, so it's kind of.
No.
Oh, by the way, just so you know, be careful smoking in those shirts. I already ruined mine. I am now joined the Scott Robinson Burned a Hole in Your Shirt Club, and it happened to be my cartel shirt.
Well, this is the definition of irony. I haven't burned this yet. Oh, every other freaking shirt I've burned, sure. But this one? Nope.
Yeah, that polyester doesn't burn, it melts.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that scar, Grandpa? Is that a bullet wound? Nope, cigar burn on a polyester shirt.
Just sad.
Just
Grandpa, polyester's been illegal since 2024.
Don't laugh. I shouldn't laugh because that could happen. Who knows,
You never know.
right?
But, I don't know. Getting back to the boxes for a second, it's so unique. And I actually saw, we were talking about people creating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to do this, but I don't have the construction skills to do it. But I saw a Facebook picture of a cigar store on the East Coast, and they built a bench out of cigar boxes. and it sits out in front of their shop. It's beautiful.
Get
That'd be
together
cool.
with Hughes.
Yeah, we could do that in the shop.
Yeah, I don't have to get together with Hughes. I got Larry. Hughes.
Yeah.
Mike's too busy.
Yeah, that is true.
Mike's got a thriving business.
The hell is that supposed? No, Mike, don't take this the wrong way. What the is that supposed to mean?
Larry's got minions, though.
Wow. Good thing Jay don't listen to the show. Man, let's see how many people we can offend in one comment. It's
Yeah, you don't have much to do, Larry.
yeah.
No,
Yeah, throw this in the pile of shit to do with your ADD.
in all fairness, Larry's our merch guy. So on top of listening to me come up with these harebrained ideas of what we want, on top of that, he's got his normal business, which is far more profitable.
Well, you know, there is that. It's I like having a roof over my head. I like opening the refrigerator and there being food in there, you know.
Wait, you have 3 kids. How's that possible?
What, having food in the refrigerator?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a reason I have all side-by-side refrigerators. And I'll let you guys think about that for a minute. Side-by-side refrigerator. Look at this.
I understand.
We on video now, folks. Watch this. Side-by-side refrigerators open like this. Here's a pro tip for you. You get one of them big U-shaped bicycle locks, and you slam that son of a bitch on them refrigerator doors. I'll never forget the day my oldest, man, he was probably 14. Why is the refrigerator in the garage locked? Because I don't want you son of bitches drinking 3 gallons of milk and eating 25 corn dogs in 2 days. That's why. He didn't think that shit was funny.
I do.
Now, see, when you said how many side-by-sides?
Oh, we raised 3 boys. I had 2 side-by-side refrigerators and a 32 cubic foot freezer to feed those kids.
I believe it.
Now, see, I was thinking more of the lines of now where it's like one refrigerator is locked, and it's like, that's Mama and I's. This is yours. It's up to you to fill this refrigerator.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're getting there. You know, kid boys are a little older now. They're doing their own thing. They're doing, you know, they're all doing good. But, yeah, man, it's just and I don't care where you shop, folks. You come rolling up, you know, our partner here is in the grocery industry. You come rolling up to the cashier and you throw 10 gallons of milk on the belt, they look at you funny.
I don't.
I actually had a girl ask me one day, why are you buying 8 gallons of milk? I had one of my boys with me. I said, because I got 3 of these, sweetheart. It's a gallon a day. She was horrified. It's like we were swimming in it or something. I know, man. We drink a gallon of milk at dinner. We're big people.
Yeah, well, speaking of which, you know, the judgy grocery store worker at the cash register.
Uh-oh.
This is years ago. This is before I had my daughters. And I remember...
How many bottles of liquor did you put on the belt?
Nah, it wasn't liquor. I actually wasn't drinking back then much. Yeah, I know. There was a time.
Oh. Survey says...
That is a lie.
It wasn't liquor. So
yeah,
I
you expect to see Maury Povich in the background. According to Alcoholics Anonymous, that is not true. Go ahead.
Okay, you smart asses. It wasn't liquor. It's middle of the night and something came up. So I had to go and make a late evening run to the pharmacy within the market. Yeah, a box of condoms and a pregnancy test. And the grocery worker looks at me like, oh, you're going to have an interesting night, aren't you?
So if it's negative, you get to use the other box, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. If not, I'm taking these back.
Folded that receipt up nice, put it right in your wallet, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, we know how that works. We seen that.
My ass, we know how that would. What we sounds like a whole lot of goddamn people.
No.
Did he think that was gonna fly by?
Wait. Bear with me. I have seen that look on people's faces.
Whew, Jesus. Yeah, because I was gonna say, whoa, pump the brakes, Virginia. What are we talking about here?
I've
Man.
seen that.
Sheesh. I got the different aspect of that, in the bar business when I was younger. Just when the guy gets to buying the girl the third or fourth drink, and then he just sets the condom next to the drink. I mean, there's some advertising for you right there. You want to talk about marketing and advertising, folks. If she didn't know what his intentions were at that point, you cut and run.
I got to give it up to him. That takes some guts.
Well, when you're 5 Jägermeisters deep, it could be.
Oh yeah, you got some liquid courage.
Yeah,
going
anything
on.
could happen at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Introduce yourself to Princess Diana after 5 Jägermeisters. Nobody gives a shit.
Hell, after the fourth one, you're ready to go to Afghanistan and play Rambo.
Yeah. Yeah, those were fun days, man. I worked at a place that our liquor distributor went back to New Jersey for a family wedding, and he stole from the venue. He stole the little bar top Jägermeister tap thing. We'd never seen him out here on the West Coast. Dude shows up, man, at like 2 p.m. On a Sunday. We're cleaning up from the brunch line. He goes, I got something for you guys. I got something. I'm like, what is this weird son of a bitch talking about? And he's got this box, right? He pulls this thing out. I'm like, what in the hell is that? And he knew out of the place we sold a ton of Jaeger. And he goes, man, it's a chiller tap for Jägermeister. Oh, man, we was like, whoo, let's try it out. 2:15 on a Sunday afternoon, man. We got bottles of Jaeger up on that thing. Wow. I had to hold 3 bottles, and you stuck them in.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Whew. Yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah, I remember those days of, shot of Jägermeister and, a beer back.
Yeah, yeah. And the place that I worked, we had 1 beer on draft. We had all kinds of bottled beer.
PBR?
That or Budweiser.
PBR, baby.
That's right.
And we had a glass chiller, so you got your ice cold glasses and a PBR and a Jaeger. It was like $4. That's how old I am.
Yeah. As Tiny Wife and I were getting to know each other, she actually judged me because it's like Rolling Rock. I was like, yeah, Rolling Rock's not bad.
Dude, I've seen you bring Red Stripe to deer camp.
That's right. I'm not picky, except for Coors. No offense to folks who like Coors out there.
Hey, Jim, are you listening?
It's just not my bag. Miller Genuine Draft, Bud Light, and of course I got this from one of my friends once. It's like, you got Bud Light? Why don't you just drink water? It's like, well, on a Sunday when I'm watching football, it's not like, 2 Sam Adams in and I'm like this. I don't even make it to the second freaking game.
Dude.
I can drink Bud Light all day.
Dude, you said Miller Genuine Draft.
Oh, yeah, I love that stuff.
Dude, that used to be my wife's beer of choice.
Good taste.
And then Loomis Basin opened.
Well, yeah, I don't know what happened, man. All of a sudden, it was Sierra Nevada at home now. But when we moved from Lincoln to Auburn to the house we have now, we had half our stuff got moved up there in Miller Genuine Draft boxes. Dude, we look like we work for Miller Brewing. It was ridiculous. So much so that one of our friends' kids commented on it. How come you have so many beer boxes? Hey, why don't you go tell your mother she loves you? Get the hell out of here. Sheesh.
I just remember being young and you couldn't really afford a lot of beer, so you got like the 12-pack that was like $3.99.
Lucky Lager.
Yep.
Had the little puzzle on the cap. Remember that shit?
Yes.
Beer was horrible.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, but, oh, man, yeah. You'd go get, buddy of mine worked at the country store in Carlsbad, which is getting torn down now, I just saw, because they're building more houses. But, yeah, country store, and he would set 2 cases of Lucky Lagers and 4 2-liter bottles of Sun Country wine coolers out the back for us to pick. Now, we didn't steal nothing. We paid for everything. We just weren't old enough to be like doing this legally, right? So you had to be kind of shady about it. But yeah, guys were drinking Lucky Lager because it was cheap, and you got the Sun Country wine coolers, 2-liter bottles, so that the girls would come to the party.
You didn't have like a wino in front of the liquor store you could give like, you know.
No, we had one working there. We didn't need one out front. That was my buddy Kevin. Sorry, Kev. Don't mean to throw you under the bus.
Yeah, we had like a resident wino, and I should feel bad about this, but yeah, we get him a drink, and he buys like a couple of cases and a bottle of Jack.
There we go.
Or, of course, my favorite was Palm Springs. I wasn't quite 21 yet. I think I was like 19. I go into this liquor store in Palm Springs during spring break, and you know, of course, they do the customary. Do you have an ID, please? And I looked at her and I said, you know what? I left my wallet at home. I don't have my wallet, you know. And she's like, well, I don't know if I can sell this to you. I actually and I pulled this off. I took my sunglasses off and I looked at her and said, do I look like I'm underage? She actually bought it. I walked out of there with alcohol.
Okay. I never had that problem, man. I've had a mustache since the 6th grade. So.
Yeah, you're in Vegas gambling and smoking a cigar. Come on, 7.
Well, that's true. Laughlin. I was gambling in Laughlin at 17.
Oh, I got one better. When I was a kid, my mom and dad went to Vegas, and my mother, she liked like really cute, kitschy stuff. So she comes with this wrapped present from Vegas. It's like, oh, I got you a souvenir, Scotty. Opens it up. It's a miniature crap table. But this is what made it cute to her. It had like a dice roller. It had like on the corner is like this little round thing. You drop the dice, it would spin and spit the freaking dice out.
Oh man, the holy grail of kids' toys right there.
Oh, so one weekend,
Scott's running a crap game
no.
backyard.
Hold on. No. Hold on. Yeah, that's the end. But let's get to the middle. She teaches us how to play craps. It has chips and everything. So it's like, yep, you put it on this number, you do this and that. You know, you don't want to get a 7 except on the first roll, 7 and 11 on the first roll, you know, all the whole thing. So I learned craps.
Here's 5 10-year-old kids taking notes.
So, you know, I'm thinking this is the greatest thing ever. And this is when I lived out in Compton.
I'm thinking this is a business opportunity.
So one day I take the crap table out. We're in one of the carports and I've got little kids. And I was like, instead of using chips, how about real money? Like pennies, dimes, and quarters. And I'm sitting here taking bets. I have a little tiny rake. It's about this big. It's like a little miniature rake. So you can pull the dice back, take the chips.
I am never going to be able to look at you playing craps the same way again.
But here's the worst part.
How much mom taking percentage for the house?
So, you know, a few days later, I lived in a project. It was like about 80 or some odd units. The management sends out this letter to everyone that says that, how did they put it? You know, it's come to our attention that people were playing dice in the carports. This is not allowed. My mother just looks at me. And I'm just like, oh, crap, I'm in trouble. And she's looking at me as like, did you take that outside? And I'm kind of like,
well, yeah, you told me I couldn't have 28 people in the living room, goddammit.
And she just laughed her ass off. She's just like, well, she's trying to say, you can't do that. Don't do that, Scotty. And she's just laughing.
Did you have the little hat and shit too?
I didn't have the hat.
Oh, man.
I didn't have the little visor.
See, yeah, man. Yeah, I used to take bets on sporting events at high school because my pops was part owner in a bar, and they took bets, and so I'm like, well, this can't be that hard, right? You know, it wasn't. You know. And the weird part about shit like that is, see, and when I got caught doing it, Pops was pissed. He's like, I don't understand why you're doing this, and now, as a grown-ass man, I wish I would have said, well, where the fuck did you think I learned this? But, you know, you're 13, 14 years old. You can't do that shit, you know? Because I'd have been picking my ass up off the carpet. Wouldn't matter. He was 60-some years old. He would whack me in the side of the head.
Well, hell, by the time I was 17, I'm running numbers in high school, doing the boxes, for the Super
geez.
Bowl.
Yeah, we did that.
So I'm in chemistry class, like second period, and taking money, and it's like, okay, I'll get stuff set up, and you guys will have it by Friday, so you'll have your numbers. And my chemistry teacher, Mr. Butoff, he's like, "What are you doing there, Robinson? Running numbers?" And he looks and he says, "That's illegal. Put me down for $10."
Yep, first guy every morning. Bar had good coffee. Probably in the first 2 or 3 customers every morning was the chief of police. Come in, get a cup of coffee, get his daily numbers. I thought that was just normal shit. I didn't know. And that's probably one of the reasons why I could buy, besides the mustache in the 6th grade thing. My pops was 47 when I was born, so a lot of people didn't believe, well, you're Jack's kid. Well, you got to be 25 because he's 108. You couldn't have a 15-year-old at this age. Ha! Surprise. But, Yeah. So that was one of the times, that was one of the situations, being able to buy underage when it kind of worked out to have older parents. Most of the rest of the time it kind of sucked, but, that was all right. I got my pop tell me about the good old days, walking to school uphill in the snow both ways. That shit got old, but, when I was your age, when you were my age, there was wagons and shit. Give me a break. But, I don't know.
Yep. But it's helped me throughout life. I've paid rent a couple of months doing dice games. So, hey, who am I to judge?
Yeah.
You do what you got to do.
That's right. Carrying on the tradition. For my pop, it was pool. For me, it was dice.
Mm-hmm. So I see you're down to the end there, Scott. Shall we wrap this up with some final thoughts?
I'm thinking so, and I'll just start this off. As far as the cigar goes, like I said at the beginning, it's not one of my go-tos necessarily, but I'd encourage people to try it and get through the first couple of puffs. It's just it's not bad. It's just a flavor I couldn't pin down. And, like I said, I listened to a couple of reviews from people, and, the whole cinnamon toast crunch thing. You okay? You going to live, Greg?
I'll be fine.
Okay. The whole cinnamon toast crunch thing, which I don't agree with. There's a spice there, and it's a little sweet. But, the cold draw, of course, is hay and earth, which is, I think, with most cigars, if they're not flavored. But this one in particular, it was just very unique. But as you draw down on it when you light it and take the first, initial puffs, the flavor starts to, I hate using the word grow on you or acclimate, because you should be enjoying it and not tolerating it. But it's one of those where the flavor smooths out. And I think that's probably the best description.
No, absolutely.
The flavor smooths out. It's like, okay, just get through the couple of initial smokes, or I would say appreciate it and try to pin it down. Because like I said, it's not bad. It's one of those where it's like, okay, it's not bad. It's just, what is this?
Yep. I'm going to go with my initial thoughts to hang with that. If you're not a Maduro guy and you want to try something in the Maduro line, now, I will say again, I don't consider this a true Maduro cigar.
Right.
But if you want to take that next step, this is probably a good starting point. I don't know if this would necessarily be in my wheelhouse all the time either, but not a bad cigar for sure. And it will definitely make me look at a couple of the other things that I see that are new in the Avo line. We'll try those out too. What the heck?
Yeah, I agree with both of you. It does come into my regular rotation. Is it frequent? No, but it's one that I do enjoy. When I want something a little different, a little unique, it's one I go to. I've smoked this is probably the 5th or 6th one before we decided to make it our cigar of the month. So it's unique, and there's a school of thought, which I don't necessarily subscribe to, but in some cigars, sometimes that first inch is a bit harsh or a bit stronger than what you'd expect, and you really give that cigar some time for the flavors to develop. Don't light it, take a couple of puffs, and go, oh, this isn't going to work, I'm getting rid of it. Give it some time to develop, because flavors, depending on the way the leaf is rolled, the cigar is rolled, and the leaves are put in the cigar, which is a topic for another show. It does change your flavor profile and your experience. So, be willing to experience everything.
Well, let me interject real quick. I think, if we did this in our previous episode, the whole review of the viewers and ratings.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do a personal rating here on a scale of 0 to take your ass to flavor country, which is a 10. I'll give this one a strong 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll back that up. That's good. Hey, before we jump off here, I want to throw a quick shout out. Brought some coffee beans in. Gave both Scott and Greg a couple of samples of coffee beans. Customer of mine has started up Yard Dog coffee roasters out of Lincoln here locally. We're going to get Zach on a show and have him come in and talk coffee with us. We're all three big coffee drinkers. So Zach brought in a Rwandan washed coffee is the process, and then Mexico, the process on the label says honey. I'm not sure about what that is, but we're going to get Zach in here and talk about it, and we're definitely going to grind up these beans and drink some coffee. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and look forward to getting him in here, and keep an eye out for us to be talking coffee and cigars here in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on. And one of the things I'll say, this is our first venture into video. So
bear with us if it's weird.
Yeah, hopefully it didn't suck.
Yeah. Do us a favor when you go on to Loomis Cigar Cartel under YouTube and check us out. Please leave comments, good, bad, or indifferent, because that's how you get better.
And we do appreciate good, bad, or indifferent. We want to know.
Well, looks like my smoke's down to the nub and my coffee cup is empty, so I think it's about that time. I want to thank our audience, and on behalf of Greg and Larry, thank you for listening. Check us out on LoomisCigarCartel.com. Like and share us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Don't be a stranger. Drop us a line. Let us know you guys are out there. And be sure on the 10th to check it out, our YouTube video on Loomis Cigar Cartel. I'm Scott Robinson, and from all of us here at from all of us here at Beyond the Humidor at Tobacco Republic, look forward to chatting to you on the next episode. And until then, take care, and good smoke, good drink, and good life.